Winter can be pretty challenging, and the temptation to stay indoors and turn the heating up can be really strong. But with a few minor adjustments, it can also be a great time to get out in the mountains, pitch your tent and enjoy the outdoors.
So here's our top tips for helping you get out camping this winter. As you can see, we've pitched our tent in a nice open, clear area. We're free from any overhanging trees and any potential avalanche risks. As nice as it looks underneath these trees, it's not actually the ideal spot for setting up camp. If the wind picks up in the night, this snow is going to fall straight onto your tent. Nice.
Keeping your tent secure is critical for a good night's sleep if you're out camping in winter. If you find that the snow is too deep or the ground is frozen, then your little tent pegs probably aren't going to be up to the job. If that happens, find yourself some decent sized sticks, put them through your guy lines like so, and bury them down in the snow to secure your tent.
One surefire way to ruin a camping trip is getting moisture inside your tent. There's a few tips and tricks that we've learnt over the years to really help minimise this. One of those is getting your sleeping bag out of the tent as often as you can. Let it breathe, hang it over a tree, dry it out. Doing this can avoid a build-up of moisture inside the bag, which in really cold temperatures is going to freeze. That's going to lead to an incredibly uncomfortable night. Make sure you air out your bag.
Another way condensation can sneak into your tent is simply by bringing snow in with you. Before you get into the tent, make sure you brush any snow off your clothing and off your boots so you don't get any in your tent. Think of it as taking your shoes off before walking on someone's fancy carpet.
Over the years, we've learnt lots of tips and tricks to make your camping experience that much more comfortable. For example, pitching your tent parallel to the wind generates a nice airflow through your tent to reduce condensation.
Chances are you're going to be bringing a self-inflating sleeping mat with you. For this trip, I've got myself a cloud base, but to add a bit of extra comfort and a bit of extra insulation, I've got a closed cell foam mat underneath as well. This also acts as a handy backup in case of any punctures to your self-inflating mat. When you get back from a day in the mountains, chances are you're going to have worked pretty hard and you might be a bit sweaty. The temptation can be to jump straight into the warmth of your sleeping bag, but if you change into dry thermals first, you're going to get a much more comfortable night's sleep.
This is probably one of our simplest tips on the list. After you've had a long day on the hill and you've managed to air out your clothes the best you can, just grab your base layers and your socks, throw them in a dry bag like that. Once you've got that, just stuff it into the bottom of your sleeping bag. And when you go to bed and you start to warm that bag up, your clothes are going to start drying out a bit more and they're going to stop them from freezing overnight. One of the most important things to get right when winter camping is your fuel. Pick the wrong fuel to stove combo and you're in for a world of trouble. Ideally you go for a propane gas, which is down to about -40, however they're usually large and bulky and just not ideal for most environments. We've got here an isobutane canister which kind of gives you the best of both worlds. You just need to make sure that you keep them warm and off the snow as often as you can.
Right, that's got to be done by now. The thought of a delicious dinner when you get back to your camp is enough to keep you going through the harshest of days out in the mountains, and winter camping isn't any different. Make sure you cook your food well away from your tent so you don't get any condensation buildup. And for a final top tip, it's a really good idea to eat a hot meal before you get into your sleeping bag. It might seem like a lot of effort, but it's really good for getting your core temperature up before you go to sleep at night.
Bon appetit!
So there's our top tips for making the most out of winter camping. Every time you go out, make sure you follow all the leave no trace principles and leave your camp area as you found it. If you've got any tips that you think we've missed, feel free to let us know.
Come on mate, are you done yet? I'm trying to sleep.